This is the year you move. This is the year you take that next step. Whether you're starting out, starting over, or starting something new, you need a local moving company that you can trust. We're Mankato Movers. We're your hometown moving resource, and we'll get you there. Call or email about our pre-move service today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode of I.C.E. I.C.E. stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage, and is our collaborative podcast we produce weekly. Each podcast is typically based or hosted live, but we also have available for replay on our I.C.E. Facebook page and our I.C.E. YouTube channel. Each week, we interview a guest or guests that we felt have an interesting story to tell about our three key words: inspire, collaborate, and encourage. In 2020, we found comfort and knowledge both personally and professionally from the podcasts of others. The podcasts we watched were for some in our industry or business coach style individuals, but also from general people that just had a positive outlook on not only business life, but life in general. We're excited to bring this to you each week at 4 p.m. Central on Thursdays. We will also have the ability in many of the presentations for you, the viewers, to ask questions of our guest. Just like today, we are live today. Our guest today is none other than Tim Emmers from Mankato, Minnesota. And he is not only a great family man, he's an avid bowler, probably the most avid bowler that I've ever met. And he is a former contestant from The Voice. So without further ado, Mr. Tim Emmers. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Jay.
Good afternoon.
You as well.
If it wasn't for the fact that we both live in Minnesota, I'd ask that dumb question of, "Oh, do you got snow up there?" But
Right.
we already know that one, right?
Yeah, it's like 50 degrees now, 30 on Sunday. The one day I'm available to go fishing, and it's going to be 30 degrees out. So
Well, you'll have to go bowling instead. Take the kids,
that's
right?
true. Very true.
So let's kind of dive in here. We'll get going. Tell us, Tim. Obviously, we know your name, but what do you do? What's your professional life? What do you do?
I do a lot, to be honest, but my main job is with Minnesota River Valley Talent Abstracting as an escrow officer. So what I do with them is I manage the front end of the files, work on kind of the middle end with payoffs and other items to make sure things are satisfied, and then I also do the closings of the loans all throughout the state of Minnesota. So constantly traveling on a daily basis, and then I have a second full-time job. I work with Harry Meyering Center as well, overnights, and I do that so that my lovely wife can stay home with our 5, soon-to-be 6 kids,
Oh,
and
I didn't know
homeschool
you
them
were
as well. So
expecting.
yeah, we have our 6th on our way in January. So
Oh,
January
good for
January
you.
2nd's her new due date. So we're excited for that.
Oh,
And
wow. I don't think
yeah,
you would announce that at BNI before you
no,
switched chapters, so I didn't know that.
yeah,
Congratulations,
no, I
man.
didn't announce it at the other chapter yet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we didn't know. We just announced. Everybody knows now. All right, cat's out of the bag. I hope you let your mom and dads know or something like
No,
that.
they all knew already, so we're
Oh,
working on
okay.
that. Family,
All right.
everybody knew.
She's
So,
due in January. She's got to be showing by now, right?
oh yeah, a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. Do we know boy versus girl, or are we just letting it be a surprise?
No, it's a girl. We just let family know about that a couple weeks ago as well, so we're good to say that. So we'll now have 3 girls, 3 boys. So we'll have 2 older girls, 3 boys in the middle, which equals chaos, and then we'll have this little girl who will either do one or the other, beat up the boys and become this strong Tom girl, or she'll be right next to mom and oldest sister and be the pretty little princess. So we'll kind
Awesome.
of see how things go.
Well,
Maybe a mix of both. You don't know.
I bet the kids are just excited. Period. To have another one coming, right?
Oh yeah, especially the girls. They're excited to dress her up and do all the things that they try to do with the boys that the boys wouldn't do for them. So
That's what my sister Rini, who's the youngest of my 3 sisters, that's what she used to do to me. There's some pictures. I think they're even on Facebook. You could probably find them, where she dressed me up with like all of her costume jewelry one day, and it was just like, oh, thanks a lot. Now I gotta deal with that for the next 75, 80 years of my life, hopefully. I mean, hopefully in the sense that I live that long, but not hopefully that I want to deal with it that long. So,
yeah, I'm
um,
sure my boys feel the same way.
tell our viewers what the Harry Meyering Center is.
So Harry Meyerson is a company that takes care of disabled adults. So my wife did it for 10 plus years, worked overnights for them. And then when she got pregnant and had our fifth, Tanner, 3 years ago, roughly 3.5 years ago now, when she took her leave of absence with them, I said, I'm just going to take this over because I could with my work schedule. So I went into Harry Myers Center and applied and just basically took over her job, her spot when she left, and just kind of been doing it ever since. And I've worked in the healthcare professional, similar to you. I started working as a CNA when I was 15 years old, actually in the center, and did that until I was 17. I got my TMA at the age of 17. I worked for Queen of Peace Hospital and worked nursing homes. And I don't know, during the summer, I put in 20 some odd hour days doing, healthcare professional work. Um, Dabbled in that for a long time. Even thought about going to school for nursing at some point, and just I decided to go against that. I had a lot of family members that are in the healthcare industry. My mom's an EMT, my aunt's a nurse, cousins are nurses. So it kind of runs in the family on that end. But Harry Meyer Center, in that perspective, is just something I've done in the past and I was really comfortable in doing. And working with disabled adults it's rewarding overall.
Mm-hmm.
And my job there is like I go to work around 10 o'clock at night, clean up a little bit, make sure things are squared away, put away, they're taken care of, and sleeping basically. And then I get to sleep for a while, roughly 5 to 6 hours a night, and then get up and make sure they're ready for the day. They have their meds for the day, breakfast is done, and then I'm able to move on and head off to work at the title company. So
Yeah, that's what Tanya had a sleep. We always call it a sleep position. I don't know if that's what
yep.
you guys refer to it as. She had a sleep position both with REM and then also with Core down here in Fairmont. She worked for both companies. It was at one and then switched to the other, not both at the same time. Although that would have been nice financially if she could have done both at the same time. But um, she enjoyed that as well. That was kind of her first foray into healthcare, really, and it was something that she did enjoy. And it is kind of weird that I didn't know that you had been a CNA at 15. I got my CNA when I was 15 as well. Got in the nursing home. My mom was an LPN on the hospital side. I was on the nursing home side, and it is one of the most humbling and rewarding jobs that I've ever had. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with elderly geriatric people who can't feed themselves, can't take care of themselves, limited activities of, we called them ADLs, activities of daily living. Um, it is just that brought joy to my heart to be able to help them, brush their teeth, get to the bathroom, and just still keep them with some sort of dignity. So I really encourage people with teenagers, if those teenagers are trying to, I don't really want to work at McDonald's. Well, then you know what? Go get your CNA and go work in a nursing home. Nothing will humble you quicker than having to do something like that, I think. And
Yeah,
it's a
it's
good quicker. It's a good humble. It's not punishment. I mean, they need somebody to take care of them. You know.
Yeah, and it really is just it shows you what life is like, and you really got to put yourself in their position when you're taking care of them. Like, how do you want to be treated when you're in that position? Um, Down the road, you pray you're never going to get there, but you have to think at some point in time that you might. And when you're there, how do you want that person to take care of you? And that's the way I approached the job on a daily basis when I was doing that at the age of 15. And
Hmm.
um, it takes a lot to really think about that, even when sometimes you're just stressed to the max. You're the only person on because they're always short staffed. Even back then they were short staffed. I'm sure today
Right.
they're
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
just as bad of a position.
At
So
15, you could work double shifts almost
oh
every
yeah,
time you worked if you wanted to. But yeah,
yeah, they
labor
probably
laws
just
were kind of against that.
yeah, exactly.
So tell us kind of what a day in your shoes is like. I mean, obviously, if you're working the night before, I mean, are you getting off in time to get a little extra sleep in between jobs, or as you immediately being daddy as soon as you get off?
As soon as I get off of work from my overnight job, I head right over here most of the time. But I've been lucky to change my overnight schedule, so I work my overnights Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it really only affects me here at the title company on Mondays and Tuesdays. So
Okay.
those are the 2 days I come in here around 8:15, 8:30 instead of at 8 a.m. directly or earlier, depending on what we have going on. But my typical day when I get into work on a Monday morning is, running through, checking up on my emails, double checking files from the previous week if I'm not jumping directly into a closing or heading somewhere on the road right away.
Right.
But from that point on, it's just juggling everything from files that are currently there, new files coming in, closings that are going on, payoffs that need to be taken care of and done, and then really helping out wherever I'm needed with Deb and Tom. So they do a great job of asking for help when they need it and being right on as to what's needed, when, and where. And I'm somehow really good at finding the answers and things in some difficult situations. And I just dig. I guess is probably the best way to put it on a daily basis. But once I get done here around anywhere between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., depending on the closings, I head home and it's right to dad mode and dinner with the family. Hopefully, I'm sitting down with them a little bit and
Is that the
yeah,
point where
always
the
have
wife
things
is
to do.
like, "Tag, you're it, and you're in charge," so she can go re-energize for a couple hours, or?
Sometimes, but amazingly, most of the time, she is right there the entire time through. She doesn't have an off button, and she doesn't get that off day, which I really wish she could take, but she just doesn't. She has a heart for it, and it's amazing to see her do it on a daily basis, no matter how challenging those kids can be sometimes. She's she always finds the one thing in those challenging moments that just brings joy to her heart still. So and it's amazing. I couldn't do it. I really could not do what she does on a daily basis. I would go insane. So
Don't worry, kids. Dad loves you. That's not what he's saying. When you see this 20 years from now, he's not saying that you're a pain. He's just saying that us dads sometimes can't quite cut it like mom can.
100%, and I'm guessing my oldest daughter is probably watching this right now too. So, um,
How old are the kids?
so my youngest is 3.5 roughly, and that's Tanner. And then 5, almost 6 is the Loch Ness Monster. So Lachlan, also known as Captain or Spanky. He has a lot of different nicknames. And then Leighton is 8, going on 25. He's grown up way too fast. And then you have Mariana, who's 11, and she's had a really tough year on her end. And then Milena is our 13-year-old. So, yeah, my two oldest daughters are both type 1 diabetics as well. So, my oldest at 13, she was diagnosed at 5. So she's been with it for a while, but my 11-year-old was just diagnosed last July. So she's getting used to her new life as to how things move and go. And
Hmm.
my wife, bless her heart, does a fantastic job of keeping up with every last detail of their diabetes and really making sure that things move smoothly from day to day. And she's making constant adjustments to their insulin and other things that need to be done, especially during this pivotal time in both their lives with their ages at 11 and 13. So
Right, right. And the boys are so far not looking to be diabetic, or?
so far, and it's a surprise in our family to have two of them with no family history either. So
Oh, wow.
um, nobody really knows where it came from or how it started out. But yeah, it's um, as of right now, the boys are good to go, and we're praying it stays the same way.
Well, I think I know the answer to this question then is tell me about somebody who's a big inspiration in your life.
My wife is a huge inspiration in my life. No matter what I do, but there's been a lot of people that have really stepped into my life at pivotal moments that have kicked my work ethic into gear. My mom has always worked 2 to 3 jobs as a single mother growing up. My mom and dad have been divorced since I was 3, so she's supported myself and my sister all the way through. So she's always worked a bunch of jobs. My grandpa on my mom's side. Also another one that's just worked hard and showed me that work ethic. But my biggest inspiration overall has to be my grandpa, Les Emmers. So he's shown me a lot over a period of years, growing up without my dad there, and other people. He was always there to take me out fishing, show me how to bowl, coaching my high school bowling team. But he was always the person that showed me how to treat other people with respect, give them the benefit of a doubt. And, no matter who he's talking to, he always had a smile on his face or something witty to say to people. And I haven't been able to see him much this year due to COVID-19. Normally, I try and get up there a couple times a year to see him. He's in a home up in Shakopee, but he's doing really well. Grandma passed away about a year and a half ago now, but he's always been a big inspiration to really show me how to treat people, because I think that's the biggest asset that we have. Is the
Hmm.
biggest thing that we can do is to show people, really just how much we care, whether we know them or not, and
Right.
just to be
Something
respectful.
that is completely lost in our society, it seems like nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, what do you feel most grateful for in life?
Yeah, my wife and kids, 100%. Without my wife, I definitely wouldn't push myself to do what I do on a daily basis. And without my kids being there to look up to me, and I want to teach them the same lessons that I've been taught, that hard work does pay off. And being respectful to people helps them treat you the same way. And just being able to look at somebody and talk to them without knowing who they are, showing them that you're willing to listen and
Mhm.
being there for them, whether they're your best friend or somebody you just met off the street. I mean, I've had some of my greatest conversations with somebody I've never known before, and I might know them and talk to them for 15, 20 minutes and never see them again, but I've learned something in that 15 to 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Those are always cool conversations when you're waiting in line somewhere, or you're whatever, and you just all of a sudden you just bump into somebody and you kind of hit it off, and you almost feel like long lost friends, and then like you said, you never see them again after that. But
Yep.
yeah, those are always cool moments. It's good that the Lord puts those people in our lives, because someday we'll know why.
Yeah.
We may not know why right now, but someday we'll know why. Um, what are some of the most important lessons that you've learned in life? Is it, and have they been more on the personal side or more on the professional side?
You know what? Life is hard, and you get thrown curveballs every day. Um, Sometimes it's due to some difficult decisions that you've had to make, or bad decisions you've made, both professionally and personally, or um, it's just thrown at you. And on the professional side, I've taken my lumps. Early on, I worked with the company, City Home Equity, for several years, and it was a great position with those guys. Managed a 5-state territory for them, and one day they put us on a phone call, and 30 seconds or less, the entire company was shut down and gone.
Oh
And
wow.
just, so that's a lesson learned, or I really just a curveball thrown that I had to work on. And personally, getting a type 1 diabetes diagnosis for your daughters is, um, it's just thrown there. And it can turn your world upside down in a hurry no matter what you do. And you really never know when it's going to happen or what's going to happen. But when it does, the biggest thing I've learned is just got to be able to pick yourself back up and find a way to move forward. And I think Hal had a great quote at BNI yesterday. When one door shuts, we often spend a lot of time looking at that door instead of looking for the next one that's about to open. And for me, it's how do I move forward from here? And what's God going to put in place in front of me now, and how do I look for it instead of reflecting on what just happened?
Yeah, and I always like to kind of say I'm going to keep moving forward regardless whether I'm crawling, walking, or running. As long as you're moving forward somehow, you certainly can feel like you're in the deepest of pits, or in the worst. Gosh, can it get any worse than this? But just keep trying to move forward somehow. And Tanya and I both have, and I'm sure you do too. Where someday at work you'll be like, "Oh, good Lord, I'm not getting anything done today." And I can hear she's 85 feet away from me, and I can hear her laughing right now, because that's exactly how she was about 3 hours ago. And I'm like, just pick one thing and get it accomplished, and then move on to the next one thing, and
Yeah.
find a way to just keep moving forward. So, proudest moment in your life, both personally and professionally.
Personally, I'm sure every parent will say it, but it's every time one of my kids have been born.
Yeah.
it's such a blessing to watch them come into the world, and just to hold them for the first time. And it is a miracle. It really truly is. And to be able to see that and know that you're responsible now for this little person that you're holding, to teach them, how to treat people, the ways of the world, and how to live life, and to really grasp it. And it's a challenge. It truly is, but it definitely is, one of the most rewarding and proudest moments of my life, on a personal side. Professionally, to be honest, I've done a lot in a lot of different ways, but um, being here where I am now with Deb and Tom is, and seeing the growth that we've been able to accomplish in just the last 3 years alone, is very, very rewarding for me.
And I just because I know you, I also believe that maybe a close second or a third in the personal is and I'm kind of in the same situation is the weight loss. I know that you and I both were pretty much bigger guys as the I don't know big guy is how everybody
Yeah,
always call it. Hey, big guy, how you doing? It's like yeah, thanks
yeah,
for
my
reminding me that I'm big. I didn't notice it. Jeez,
no, no
but
way.
yeah,
Yeah, no, my
um,
my uh, my nickname all through high school was Big T.
big T, huh?
I've been big my entire life. Started when I was probably 8. I don't know. I was big when I was young, and no matter how many diets or things I tried, it never clicked for me, no matter what. And my biggest was, I think it was 447 was the biggest I was at one point, and then had that surgery in 2017. Gastric bypass did not go well, whatsoever. Like, you talk about curveballs life throws you, right? And that was just one of those curveballs. That surgery I was supposed to be under for, I think, 5.5 hours, quick and easy, in and out, and I ended up being under for just under 19 hours. I think it was, when all
Oh
was said and
wow,
done. And had to spend some
oops,
extra time in the hospital, and doctors made an error, and they clipped parts of my colon during that surgery, and they had to, what they call, I guess the doctors said, gut me is the best way to look at it, cut me from
okay.
top to bottom, and figure out where the errors were and mistakes were, and fix it.
Oh
So it
wow,
was a long period of time, and I know my wife was up there with me, and they didn't really give her an update during the process, so she was freaking out at the same time and wondering
oh
what's going
wow.
on. And so she's sitting in that waiting room with no answers. So
That
it was
happened to
really,
Tanya too when I had my surgery when they placed the 6 stents back in February. We were told it would be like hour and a half, 2 hours, and next thing you know, she's approaching 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and finally they came out and said, yeah, we were in there and things were going good, so we just kept going. And it's like you couldn't have sent somebody out to say something about that, so she isn't in there
exactly.
thinking the worst. But it wow. No, that's thank God you pulled through that. I mean, that you especially if they nicked the colon, you could have certainly developed sepsis pretty easily and then had that to deal with. But
Yeah, we were very lucky we were in Rochester for the surgery. So they, due to my weight, my BMI, they had us do everything in Rochester, which was definitely a blessing. At that point in time, we thought
that
it
so
was,
you said that was in 2017.
yep, January of 2017,
So
January
I must
31st.
have met you shortly after that then, because when did I join? I think I
That would
joined
have,
2018, so it must have been about a year maybe after that. Because
mm-hmm.
I found your story to be very very inspirational to me. Was when I first met you, I had no idea. I didn't know that you had been a bigger size guy like myself. I mean, I think when I met you, I was probably 265, 270, which was obviously down from where my high was, and and it just I don't know when I a found out that you were a bigger guy and had lost all that weight, and then b the one topic we haven't talked about was that you were a performer and that you were on The Voice. Tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. So I tried out for the voice back in, man, I don't remember what year it was even anymore. It was a long time ago. But I've sang my entire life. So my mom started me out early on in music. She's the choir director back in La Center at St. Mary's Catholic Church, and I sang my first wedding when I was 5 for my aunt. Um, so on my fifth birthday.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time of performing and singing next to a lot of great people, and so I think it was back in 20, I want to say 2015, yeah, 2015 or 2016. Um, my cousin went out with me to Chicago, and we tried out for The Voice. Went through the first section on a Saturday morning up by 6:30 in line, and thousands of people just going there, and it's definitely an experience to be there. So we were out there and went through that first edition, made it through the second round of it, and but that was kind of it. The first round, and then into the second round, and it was definitely an experience to sit there and you get 10 seconds to impress somebody in the first round. That's it. If you can't do it, you are done. And they're listening for some very particular things. I couldn't tell you exactly what they're listening for, but you're in a panel of 10 other people, and each person gets basically 10 to 15 seconds to show what they got on their song selection, and then they either say you're moving on, you're not. And um, yeah, it's intimidating to say the least, that very first round.
In
And the
the
second round,
second round, you get a little bit more time then, or you
yeah, you
can.
get you get 60 seconds, and you actually get music behind you on the second round. So the first round you're doing it all a cappella, you're just jumping up there and hoping that your nerves don't get the best of you, and
Right.
that you can just get your best 10 seconds out possible. But that second set, I had a good friend of mine um, drive up from, I think he was in Chicago, not in Chicago, he was actually in Texas for that weekend, and drove up just to play for me in the second section of that. So it was really cool that he took the time to do this, coming back home to visit family anyway, and he just detoured through Chicago and met us there, and he did the second set for me, and he played for me. For that 60 seconds, we redid everything that we needed to for the song and got it all set and ready to go. And unfortunately, to make it past that second piece, but it was definitely an experience that I would do over again, if the time allowed, or I really just felt that it was the right thing to do. And right now, I just haven't felt that it's the right thing to do again. So
What a cool way though, that if some day down the road you get the time or the opportunity to do it again, that the inspiration and the encouragement that you're going to give your kids to just, go for their dreams, follow their dreams, give it a shot. If you fail, you fail, but you know what? At least you tried. And I can't hold a note even if I had Velcro on the notes. I got my mother's voice, not my father's. Um, and so it's I just find that story of you really cool. How has your life been different than what you had imagined?
you know, when I went to school for music education, vocal performance, choral composition, choral conducting. So my plan, when me and my wife were planning this out, we've been together, since I was 16 years old. So we're 22 years now together total. And our plans growing up were that she was going to be a teacher, elementary school teacher, and I was going to teach music at a high school somewhere. And I was going to teach and coach, and we were going to have our summers off together and just enjoy family and our time together. So plans change. I mean, everybody knows that. And as I was leaving school, the high schools were cutting music programs. So
Right.
it swung me right into what I did best, and that was numbers and talking to people. And I went right into mortgages from that point on. Um, so it's completely different from what we anticipated when we were together, getting married and growing up on that end. Like it's just, life is definitely 100% different than what we initially thought it was going to be.
You mentioned coach. What were you going to coach?
I love the sport of football. It's been a big passion of mine forever. Wrestling as well. I spent a lot of time coaching both of those early on, when we first got married at Maple River School and at actually Mankato West.
Hmm.
I coached junior high football at Mankato West here in town as well, and then baseball at Mapleton. So, um, I spend a lot of time. I love spending time with kids, and just kind of finding out what makes them tick. And that's what
Right.
coaching all is. It's not so much a directing, it's more of a teaching avenue, and finding out how do you get through, and not only for what you want them to do, but what do they want to do.
Right.
And it's the same philosophy I take with my kids now at home is if they don't want to do something, what do they want to do? And how do you find out
How do you
what
encourage
gets them
them to?
excited? Yeah, how do you
Yeah.
encourage them the right way? And
Yep.
are they doing this for them or are they doing it for someone else? And if they're doing it for someone else, why are they doing it for someone else and not for them? And go in that direction.
Well, now you have, I mean, you'll have enough kids now. You can get back into volleyball coaching. You'll have enough for a volleyball squad. You got enough for one reserve on a basketball team now, or you can at least just maybe put them 3-on-3. Boys versus girls or something. I mean, you've got your own team developing here now.
Yeah, I
And
got my own bowling team is what I got.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
plus a sub every week. So
yeah,
I'm
bowling
good.
team and half a baseball or half a softball team or something like that, and
Yep.
you'll be ready to go. All right, before we get to our speed round of questions, I want to go over hear from a couple of our sponsors here. So we'll be right back here with you here, Tim. Hang tight. River Valley Dental, located in Mankato, Minnesota, provides their patients with the most current treatment using the latest dental technology. Dr. Tom Pooley and his team offer services ranging from general preventative care to restorative care. They're now offering cosmetic treatment paired with their med spa. At River Valley Dental, you're never just another set of teeth. You're a face with a name and a history, and it is their privilege to serve you and guide you to your dental goals. River Valley Dental, your smile, our passion. Gracie B. Doodle is a new up-and-coming online store and social media group for the decorated apparel, design, and sublimation sector. From digital papers to sublimation blanks and more, Gracie B. Doodle is a great resource for the crafters or for the professional shops. Online at www.graciebdoodle.company.site. And the Wow Zone, one of Tim's favorite places, the Wow Zone Family Entertainment Center, located in Mankato, Minnesota. 24 state-of-the-art bowling lanes, a 2-level laser tag arena, mini golf, video games, snack bar, sports bar, and restaurant. Bring a few, bring them all. The Wow Zone can fit them all. All right, back to Tim here. All right, so Tim, this is one of my favorite parts of doing these interviews. I call it the Mankato Movers Speed Round, and the Blue Crew, whose motto is "We'll get you there." So these are just kind of quick hitter questions, and again, I didn't type these out ahead of time, so we're going to go off the cuff on some of these. All right,
Okay.
and I did intend today, and I forgot. I was going to look up. I was going to look up the names of some good bowling movies, and then see which ones you liked. And all I can come up with, because I forgot to look it up, all I can come up with is either The Big Lebowski, or I believe there was one called Kingpin, wasn't there?
Yep.
Yeah. So which one? Which one for you? Big Lebowski or Kingpin?
Kingpins. Big Lebowski, I really never got into at all. Actually, I've only watched it once, I think. But Kingpins, I probably watched a million times growing up. So,
Who was in Kingpin? Because I
oh
know I've
man,
seen it. I just can't remember who was in it.
I'm so bad with names.
Oh,
Woody Harrelson, I think, is in there for sure. And then Bill Murray. Those are the two key guys in that
okay,
movie.
okay.
But I don't know. To me,
Yeah,
I
now that
enjoyed
you say
watching
Bill
it growing
Murray,
up.
now I can
Yeah,
picture him in his
the
bowling shirt.
bigger and
Yep, yep. And I
yeah,
know the Big Lebowski was wasn't it Jeff Daniels or something, and then um oh heavyset guy. He's played the president in the West
yeah. I
Wing.
know who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
can't think of
yeah,
it right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. Next one. Uh, FHA loans or conventional loans?
Conventional. Always better to go conventional if you can.
um, Singing or I didn't ask. Playing an instrument. You ever played an instrument?
Yeah, I play piano by ear. Not very well, but I play it by ear, or I can play what I write. I do pretty well when I can write it myself. I play trumpet, tuba, baritone. Um, can't play the trombone for some reason. Can't ever figure that one out. But yeah, those are my main instruments.
And we got to get you and Dina Lindstrom together, and you two could just be like this, onesie twosie band, and you could, go around and do birthday celebrations and something like that. Because I always keep forgetting that Dina is got that huge music background too, and having been a music director, I think at Gustavus and
Hmm.
a bunch of other places. So, um, let's see here. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza,
Yep.
pepperoni, or beef?
To be honest, vegetable. I
Vegetable.
love veggie pizza. Veggies on my pizza. I just love it.
And
So,
have you gotten into the gluten free craze?
my oldest daughter is gluten free, so everything we do at home is gluten free. But like when we order Casey's, we order some regular Casey's and then a gluten free Casey's. So,
You know, people used to pick on me about Casey's Pizza, but I gotta
oh,
tell you,
so
and
good.
my deepest apologies to anyone who owns a pizza place that's watching, but Casey's Pizza for many, many, many years has been my favorite pizza. I don't know what it is, if it's the beef or if it's the cheese, but it's always been like one of my favorites.
And the
There's a lot of
strangest thing is about
pizzas out there, but
yeah, the strangest thing about Casey's pizza, it's good hot and it's really good the next morning cold still. You just grab it out of the fridge and go, So it's I don't know. I don't know. Some people mock at that, but
yeah,
I
I
tell
can't
you,
do cold
it's
pizza. I can. It took me a long time to be able to do cold chicken and ham and turkey. Like leftovers from Christmas or Thanksgiving. It took me a
yeah.
long time as a kid to be able to do the cold side. I never. Uh, yeah.
I
Although
still
I
struggle with that stuff. When it comes to pizza cold, I can just grab it and go. Only if it's Casey's. It's the only pizza I can eat cold or reheated. Either way.
I can't eat cooked vegetables other than potatoes and corn. That's it. Let's see. What else do we have for a couple of quick hitters? Let's see here. The Voice or American Idol?
The Voice.
Okay. Did you get to the point where the chairs turned around on you, or that was farther down the
That
road?
would have been one step further from
One
where I
step.
was. So
And
yeah.
who were the judges at that point?
It was the original then, so it was Adam, Blake, well, I can't think of her name all of a sudden.
Hold on.
Here,
Tanya's hollering from afar.
Tanya's probably got it.
Christina Aguilera.
No, she was not there, but it was God, I can't think of her name. She's the one who always gives Blake a hard time, but I can't think of it all of a sudden, just based on me completely. Um, yeah. But the
Did you
original
have
group, the original three, and then the fourth one that year, I think was Usher that year.
and was there one that you were hoping to work with more than the other,
Not really.
or
My
do they
hopes was
tell you
just
don't do that? Don't try to focus in on one or anything
I
like
try not to focus in on I tried not to focus in on anything, but just doing the best that I could when I was doing that. So
that? Well, kudos to you. I think that's I would never have the guts to stand up in front of like this is not a big deal because I have no idea how many people are really watching until we go look at the numbers later. And so I'm not nervous about doing this, but if I had to stand up and on the stage and get back to in front of that many people and all the TV cameras on you or something like that, or just in the audition room where there's probably 100 sets of eyes on you and they're all hoping you fail.
they are.
They're not. They're not
That's
really
the whole true
encouraging
thing.
you at all. And there's no collaboration there to get anything. They're just like, boy, I
They're
hope you.
hoping you're the person in front of them and you're absolutely terrible, so you sound 100 times better. That's exactly what they're hoping when you're in that room with those other people. So
I think that's the one thing I've liked about The Voice in comparison to American Idol is the American Idol. They throw in that one or two that really, really suck, uh, just to have everybody go, "Oh, good gracious, that person," And it's like, and The Voice doesn't seem to do that. Voice, at least, it seems like everybody's got some degree of talent, and it's just a matter of whether or not it. I think, like you said, at the right moment, the right time, that voices, are tuned
you
in.
know,
I'm sure song selection's got to be a huge part of it too.
I was just gonna say I think the biggest piece to the voice is song selection for one. The other reason I really like it is the judges can't judge the person by how they look, and sometimes when those judges turn around and they are so shocked
Right.
by who's there. And when it's really shocking, I love when you're watching the show and they have it completely blacked out for you as a viewer too. You can't see the person, and it's just like it is absolutely insane to see.
Yeah.
Like you would not believe that voice would come out of that individual, and you're just like it. It goes back to how even treating people today. Like you can't just judge a book by its cover based on where you find or see somebody, and
Right.
that's what I like the most about The Voice. Not only teaches that lesson, but it just allows you to sit back and listen.
Well, and I caught a video last night. Usually my MO is when I climb into bed, I'll usually watch some videos off of Facebook or YouTube and whatever. And I caught a 10-year-old girl on, I think it was, yeah, AGT. She was on AGT, 10-year-old girl, and she sang Shallow from Lady Gaga and Brad Cooper. Holy, I mean, you literally just, you closed your eyes and you felt like you were listening to Lady Gaga. And even
Mm.
Simon Cowell at one point leaned over to one of the female judges, and they picked up the mic and he said to her, "Close your eyes and just listen to this." And
Yeah.
I mean, I always find it impressive anybody who's got a good voice, but man, when you got kids like that can sing, I mean, do any of your kids have your vocal qualities?
Yeah. I mean, it's my oldest girl, Melena. She does a great job, and she is very shy with it right now. And I someday she'll gain that confidence, and I'm excited to see when that happens because um, same with my 11-year-old Mariana, same thing, and they're just shy at this age right now. And um, my oldest plays piano and the ukulele, and I love just listening to her when she doesn't know I'm listening. But um, and then when both girls sing together, to me it just warms my heart. And again, they probably don't know I'm listening to them when they do it half the time, but it's something that just I'm excited to see what happens as they get older.
Yeah, especially, I mean, like you said, once they find their confidence in it, then as not only a dad but your family, you can kind of collaborate and let's do some harmonizing, let's do a duet, that kind of a deal. um you'll have to watch the movie Sister Act,
Oh yeah,
or the movie Pitch Perfect, and
yep.
get them to identify with the quiet, very soft, and that once they open up, they're just a huge voice, and it's going. But
Oh yeah.
all right, we got to get back to questions here because you got to get home here pretty soon. How would you like to be remembered?
You know, to be honest, the only thing I really care is that people know that no matter what, I'm open and I'm here to help. And whether I'm asked to do it or not, I would like to be known as the person that just kind of goes above and beyond, whether I'm asked to do it or it's just an opportunity that came and I just stepped up and went. So that's how I try and live my life on a daily basis. Is whether I'm asked to go the extra mile or not asked to go the extra mile, that I'm always willing to do that for somebody, whether I know them or not.
I had asked you in the pre-interview about, do you collaborate with others in your life, and obviously the biggest one for you is probably collaborating with your wife to make sure the kids are all taken care of and things like that. But with your musical background, I think you kind of alluded to helping individuals or churches and things like that. Do you do any sort of like voice lessons or any of that kind of stuff, or?
I don't do any of that anymore. I did early on. Right now, the main thing I do is I help some people write. So there's points where I have a good friend of mine who actually two. I mean, Darren Scruggs, Deb's wife. We've worked collaboratively in the past on a couple of pieces of music that he's had some questions on wondering what goes where and how, and tying it biblically together. And then another good friend of mine that we're working on a brand new piece that not only working with him here in Mankato, we're working with another guy down south and bringing this new kind of weird cantata piece together that's going to be really interesting when it's all done. But we've been working on that for 4 years on and off, just because everything just kind of keeps coming and going, and it's been really interesting. But collaboration wise, when you first asked that question on there, I'm like, I don't do nearly as much as I used to, just with my schedule in life. But one piece that we're doing right now is actually with Camp Sweet Life for Strikeout Type 1 Diabetes. We've been working on that for the last year, and that's happening now November 15th at the Wow Zone virtually. I think we have 10, 12 teams, so we'll have that solidified by the end of this week. But Teams, I'm saying, as of right now, because it's being run virtually, I have 10, 12 bowlers that'll be representing a camper for Camp Sweet Life, which is a nonprofit camp for kids with type 1 diabetes, for them to get to know other kids with type 1, be able to spend a week away from home under direct medical supervision of volunteers that understand type 1 diabetes, understand what they're going through, and help them move forward. So these bowlers will be representing these campers and bowling for 1 hour, throwing as many strikes as they possibly can over 3 lanes. And these campers are going out and getting pledges from people to help support them and help them go to camp for free, and also to help raise funds for Camp Sweet Life so that they can keep the cost of camp down. Most of these camps run 1,100 to 2,200 bucks for a week for kids to go. Camp Sweet Life, as a nonprofit, does a fantastic job of fundraising and working with the local communities to keep the cost down to around 550 bucks per camper for the entire week, to make it affordable for families, which is phenomenal. And I know my oldest girl has gone for 7 years now, and she was so disappointed when they had to cancel camp this year for 2020, because she's made friends. She talks to people on a daily basis, yet pen pals that she can talk to about their struggles. And it's an amazing cause, and it was started by medical professionals right here in Mankato.
With your before I go to the next quick, Camp Sweet Life, I absolutely it's a great program. I obviously myself with diabetes touches a spot for me. They've been a great customer of ours. We've done a lot of stuff for them. We're helping you out with the Strike One event, which I have to talk to you about, by the way, before we get off of here at the end of the day. We'll do that off camera, but we'll still be in the studio here. Your future, obviously, I mean, the immediate future is you got your 6th on the way. It'll be here soon. And for future generations of your family, so let's just say your grandkids or maybe even your great grandkids, what do you want them to know about you?
I just want them to know that I'm there for them. That's one thing that I just want to be, as an active grandparent or a great grandparent. And my wife and I tease the kids all the time that when we retire, we're just going to rent an RV and park it in their front yard every other week and rotate around so that we can see our grandkids and be active in each one of their lives on a regular basis, no matter where they are. And that's really what we want to be. Both of us agree on that end. We just want to be present. We want to help. We want to show them that we love them regardless of where they're at. And that's what I want the most for those future generations.
Well, God bless your soul with 6 kids. Tanya's laughing. I can hear her laughing. I don't know. 2, 3 would have been nice. 2 was great. 3 would have been nice. 4 would have been probably an oh goodness moment, and anything beyond that would have been like I probably need to go check into a mental hospital. So, to those of you that can have kids like that, one of our newest employees has 7, I think. Yeah, 7 kids. Holy cow! No wonder why you want to come to work. You want to get some peace and quiet during the daytime or something. But well, I again want to thank you for joining us, Tim. It's been great to get to learn a little bit more about you and the things that you've gone through in life. And you are an inspiration to not only your kids but to others. Your story is pretty awesome to be a what society likes to label us as a normal sized person now, and then to just have done some of the things that you've done in life is just pretty cool. So keep up the good work with the Camp Sweet Life event coming up. I know Tanya's looking forward to that. I hear she's going to be a radio, TV, podcast, whatever personality on that. So I might have to see if I can just come up and throw popcorn at her just to like distract her during it. That'd be kind of fun, or laugh at her like she's doing up at the front of the store. And but no, it's good to call you a friend, and I thank you for joining us today. And take it easy. Good luck with the 6th one.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jay.
All right, hang tight. All right, and let's just top it off here with a few more of our sponsors. We have. You looking to travel, either domestically or internationally? Call Jana Hughes at Travelooza to book your next vacation. From weekends to resorts or cruises, Jana and her team are ready and waiting to get you back on your feet, headed for the sun and the sand. Call 1-888-689-0660. Gemini Studios is the leading production company in southern Minnesota based out of downtown Fairmont. Gemini Studios offers many services such as VHS to DVD transfers, picture scanning to CD, advertising, commercials, voiceover recording, educational and informational videos, live streaming, special and school events. If interested in any of their services, please call them at 507-235-5190. And lastly, the Visual Identity Vault, located in the heart of historic downtown Fairmont, Minnesota. TVIV is a full-service decorated apparel provider with screen printing, embroidery, sublimation, and more. Also offered are signs, banners, design services, paper printed products, promotional items, and custom gifts. With 4,000 plus square feet of retail space, there's great deals for everyone, young to old. TVIV also offers a variety of different fundraising options for your groups needing to earn some extra cash for that special trip or event. Contact TVIV today at sales@tvivmn.com or online at www.tvivmn.com. And that wraps things up for today. On behalf of both Tanya and I, we'd like to thank you, the viewers, who tuned in to check this ICE thing out. And we hope that you found the message of inspiration, collaboration, and encouragement to be useful in your personal and professional lives each day. We will see you next week at 4 p.m. Central here on ICE. Thanks a lot, folks, and have a great day.